Yes, I would like to speak. Councilman Boehm highlights rules should be uniformly applied in conducting public business from the new Officer Training League of Minnesota conference he recently attended. Since public forum comments are requested to be framed around items that fall within the authority of the City Council, tonight's allowance of Camp Ripley's presentation during council meeting is a mockery of your own rules and a vivid demonstration, once again, of a lawless council. Tonight I will share some information that Colonel St. Sauver will be sure not to share with you. Worldwide, the military is the most secretive, shielded, and privileged of polluters because the hallowed mantra, national security, trumps the public's right to know. Thus, most of the extant data on pollution from United States military-related sites is available solely because of citizen pressure on the Department of Defense, the Environmental Protection Agency, and the Congress to inventory, assess, and divulge the extent of the military's environmentally hazardous activities.
Robin, can I stop you 1 minute? This has nothing to do with the City Council. We can't do nothing about Camp Ripley.
Neither does Camp Ripley's presentation tonight, and
It's an economic
Let me continue, please.
impact.
Let me continue, please. DOD maintains responsibility for thousands of sites contaminated with chlorinated solvents. Excuse me, your own rules require you to not talk when someone holds the floor, and I'm holding the floor, thank you.
Where's that?
In your own rules, number 69 and 2.42. DOD maintains responsibility for thousands of sites contaminated with chlorinated solvents, heavy metals, energetics, and other hazardous chemicals. Percolate is used as an oxidizer component in solid propellants for rockets, missiles, and pyrotechnics. Migration of vapors from chlorinated solvent groundwaters, plumes into surface and subsurface structures has become a concern in recent years. And by the way, this is all from the DOD website under the Army category. Comes right from the military's own information. Environmental contamination and safety hazards associated with unexploded ordnance can result from the use of munitions. In addition, military installations are home to many threatened and endangered species, and in some cases provide their last remaining critical habitat. Munitions constituents are explosives and propellants originating from military munitions and include nitroamines such as RDX, TNT, nitroglycerin, perchlorate. These constituents can accumulate in shallow soils as a result of military activities on ranges. Munitions constituents have found their way into groundwater aquifers underlying various DOD facilities. At firing points, propellants residues are deposited by a variety of munitions, including large
Time's
caliber
up. Your 3
artillery.
minutes are up. I'm
I
sorry.
have an additional minute because you interrupted me, thank
You
you.
don't get an additional minute.
Well,
I'm sorry.
excuse me, you're violating your own rules. You interrupted me rudely, if I might add. I would like to continue, please.
You got 15 seconds, go.
At firing points, propellants residues are deposited by a variety of munitions, including large caliber artillery mortars, shoulder-fired rockets, and small arms. Grenade ranges are among the most heavily used training areas in the military. According to Brilliant Warrior, a research paper dated August 1996 by J.W. Kelly, presented to the Air Force 2025.
Time's
People are
up.
most
We gotta move on.
valuable
Sorry.
and critical element in the armed forces. How much real
We're gonna move
value
on.
do military and congressional leaders place on our
Anybody else wanna
soldiers'
speak?
lives?
I call point of order.
Mr. Quick, is it now time to discuss things that aren't on the agenda?
Yes.
Okay. I was invited here tonight to talk about the 3-hour parking request.
That's on our,
Regular agenda.
it's on our regular agenda. I think.
So,
At the 7:30 meeting.
7:30 meeting.
okay, nothing's discussed now?
Nope.
Okay, fantastic.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Little Falls Convention and Visitors Bureau.
City, I would like to There's three other speakers here.
Fiscal 2359765th Avenue, Fort Ripley. That's
Ripley Township. I'm here to comment on the appearance of the Colonel tonight. I'd like to speak on the effect of Ripley on our community. Every bird, every tree, every butterfly and bee, every little fool within the sea, every little baby down on the knee, we need peace. We need peace. And while this meeting's going on, everybody's got their guns and bombs as they teach our children to kill. As they teach our people to war on the world. Our children need to learn to live, how to love and how to give, but they teach our children to kill. Other people's children, they teach our people to war on the world. They recruit our girls and boys, then they train them to destroy. Blood for oil and corporate greed, to make their wars one thing they need is to teach our children to kill. Other people's children to teach our people to war on the world. Take a guess, make a bet, who it is they'll war on next. Syria, Yemen, or Pakistan, North Korea, Venezuela, or Iran. Helicopters and drones to fly, machines of war to fill the skies as they teach our children to kill. Other people's children, they teach our people to war on the world. Now every bird in every tree, every butterfly and bee, all the little fishes in the sea, every little baby dancing on her knee, every member of our human family, we need peace. We need peace.
Sir, your time's up.
It's not done, sir.
Your time's up. Your 3 minutes are up. Anybody else want to speak?
Thank you so much for listening to me.
My name's Jody Scott Olson, 9251 Rosehaven Boulevard. I'm here, first off, I've never been to.
Want to give your address, please?
Yeah, I did, 9251 Rosehaven Boulevard. This is the first time I've been to a council meeting, and I have to say that I'm absolutely stunned at the level of disrespect that the council members have paid to the community who came here for a very, very brief period of time that they had to speak. And I'll leave it at that. I'd like to, with coming of spring, garage sale season, I'm looking over the sign ordinance that the city's passed, and the fact that this community is looking at having to use their cars once again as billboards, clogging up the shoulder of the road. And I'm wondering what the city sees as the benefit of having passed this ordinance, the amount of time it's taking to enforce this ordinance, to revise this ordinance, the burden it's put on the community, the burden it's put on businesses, and I drive past, Robin Hensel's house, and, she has a circus in her yard, which is not signs, and, so I'm just sort of wondering, what the city council feels it's accomplished for all of the time, energy, and resources it's invested in this, because it doesn't seem to have benefited the community, the city, or the council.
Thank you. Anybody else want to speak?
Yes, I do. Teresa Scorset, 414 2nd Street Northeast, Little Falls. Conversion of the war industry would create more jobs with the same amount of money that is now spent building weapons. Those jobs could be building public transit, wind turbines, solar systems, doing home weatherization, hiring teachers, repairing infrastructure, and more. According to Brilliant Warrior, a research paper dated August 1996 by J.W. Kelly, presented to Air Force 2025, people are the most valuable and critical element in the armed forces. How much real value do military and congressional leaders place on our soldiers' lives while requiring exposure to these contaminants on a regular basis? Henry Kissinger answered this final question. Military men are just dumb, stupid animals to be used as pawns in foreign policy.
Anybody else want to speak? Well, we'll get into the information items there.